Hello everyone, my name is Hugo, I'm co-founder of Blazity, and today we're going to talk about React 18, specifically about server components. If you like our content, please remember to like and subscribe, and you can also check out our other videos on similar topics. So what exactly is React 18 and its server components? So React 18 is a topic in itself, deserving a whole other video. What I want to talk to you about today is the server components and sort of give a quick rundown of why you might care about them. So the server components is something completely new to React. You might think, but wait, we have server-side rendering already. That's one of, I think, quite common misconceptions right now, that people think that server-side rendering and server components are the same thing, or that somehow server components are somehow an evolution of server-side rendering. That's not quite the case. Server components don't really get rid of the client side of React or the server side of React. Server components play very well with both client-side rendering and server-side rendering. You can use all of those technologies at the same time. The core difference between server-side rendering and server components is that whenever we talk about server-side rendering, we mostly mean the initial render and sort of showing the user the initial page instantly, then hydrating everything for things to become interactive. The biggest difference here is that server components are actually not just for the initial render. Server components are React components that work and get rendered only on the server. So whenever you think of a component that might have a lot of dependencies and it might be very heavy in terms of bundle size for the user, maybe this component is super complicated and advanced and does a lot of things. And it might cost you 500 kilobytes of bundle size. That's a pretty extreme example, but even more extreme examples are in the wild. If you make that component a server component, it will actually not serve those 500 kilobytes potentially, because every dependency that's needed by that component will just get used on the server. The client never has to download anything. Everything is rendered on the server and just sent to the client in a custom way. It's not really sent as just pre-rendered HTML. It's a different format of serving the data. The point being that whichever component you decide to have as a server component, the user never even knows about any of its dependencies. They just get the component and that's it. Basically, with server-side rendering, you would still need to give the user the dependencies that you're using. In the end, after loading the page for the first time, your app would still be client-side. However, server components not only render on the server for the first time, but every time they need to re-render, they also do that on the server and get merged into the client-side tree afterwards. So whatever happens, server components remain server components, and the logic for them never happens on the client side. So the key takeaway from here is that using server-side rendering is still a good idea in a lot of use cases, and so is using client-side rendering. But whenever you have those situations where it's actually important to you to limit the bundle size of your application, and it should be pretty important to you in majority of scenarios, especially if you know that your users don't generally have the fastest internet connection, the fastest devices. Server components are actually an amazing new feature, and you should definitely try them out. Server components are, as of making of this video, still in active development, but they're a very exciting new feature that basically plays very well with edge computing, on which we're gonna do a video as well. And basically they open up a whole new range of possibilities and a whole new aspect of making your app so much faster compared to what you might have now. Thank you for watching. Again, if you enjoy our content, please remember to like and subscribe, maybe leave a comment, and thank you for watching.